This is Shawn Irwin, your Youth Director with Darts Ontario, and welcome to episode 25 of Darts Ontario Let's Talk Darts. I wanted to talk to our youth players from past and present to see how they got into darts and their story to help inspire the youth dart players of today. Thank you to our sponsor, SSS Canada, for all the support in the Darts Ontario organization. Go to their Facebook page to see the high quality custom dart shirts, which you can order for your team or individually. I'm with Emma Shatkowski, formerly of the Barrie Youth Dart League. All right. Thank you, Emma, for taking the time to talk about your career in youth darts and what's happened afterwards. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah.
Well, that's great. So are you ready to talk all about darts?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So tell me, how did you get started playing darts and how old were you?
Oh man. I think I moved to Barrie when I was 13 or 14, and summer of grade 9. And then I ended up getting introduced by my dad because the whole side of the family was playing darts. So when I moved into Barrie, my stepbrothers at the time were both playing darts in the Barrie Dart League. So I just kind of got thrown into it. So I had no complaints. It was awesome. I got to be introduced to everyone in the area and made some really good friends. And then also learned the game of darts in itself. So yeah,
That's what it's all about, the social aspect of the game for sure. So
oh yeah.
now that you joined the league, but who inspired you actually to do it competitively?
Ooh. Honestly, I think my brothers did.
Yeah.
The first year that I was playing was just kind of a thing I was doing. And then both of my stepbrothers, Caleb and Kiefer, both made the team that year, my first year playing darts. And I remember being so heartbroken by it. um, so then the next year, I was determined to make the team. So I ended up just kind of focusing a little bit more on it, and then it became kind of a more competitive thing from there.
Well, that's great. And tell us about your experience playing in the Barrie Youth Dart League. Sue and Jamie Courts have been running that league for so long and a lot of great success out of that league.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. We would go there, we do our little warm-ups, and then we would kind of play 501, some cricket. Like it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. We got to practice a lot and then also get the play in with other people too. So it was good.
That's great. And speaking of practice, how often did you practice during the season and even in the off season? Did you practice?
Oh yeah, every day.
Yeah.
It didn't stop. No, me and Kiefer, he was my stepbrother, and we would just play in the basement every day, and it's like best of 10 games. So yeah, it
I
wouldn't
didn't.
stop.
I didn't realize there was a relation there between Caleb and Kiefer and yourself. So definitely some good darts in that family.
Oh yeah.
Now, we know practicing is never as fun as a real game, but how did you make practicing fun being at home playing darts?
I don't think we added really anything special to it. It was just kind of a fun thing that we were doing. We got very competitive between all three of us. So I think that kind of drove us to keep going. But the game itself is just, it's fun in itself. You don't really have to do anything different. Um, but I think if we had to switch it up or something, we would play like around the world or cricket or something like that, just to shake things up if we were getting a little bored of 501. So
Yeah, it's good to change things up. A lot of different practice games out there for sure.
yeah.
So, how did you prepare yourself before a big match and get focused?
Honestly, I put the darts down. If I practiced, I say the night before or even an hour before a game, my shooting would be like 5, 10, and like out of all three darts. So I couldn't do it. I don't know if it was just me, but yeah, I couldn't practice very well before a game. So it was more of just the mental, like, you can do this, let's get through it, you'll do good, kind of more of a thing like that.
Well, darts is a very emotional game, and staying focused. But when you're actually on the line playing those big games, how did you stay focused and control those emotions?
Oh, you really just have to kind of block out everything. You can't really worry about people behind you, what they're thinking. You have to really focus on the board, on the other player, seeing how they're doing, and then kind of match it with your own and just throw in your own talent.
Now, what's the best part of competing for you, and what's the most important part of darts?
Oh, that's a good question. I just like the competing in a general sense. The getting to travel, the getting to meet new people was amazing. Like throughout my years of darts, I have met people all across the country that just are amazing. So that definitely had to be a big part of it that I really liked.
That's
Um,
someone on Facebook just this morning from Manitoba, how they met in Quebec and met somebody from Saskatchewan, and hearing that story, that relationship. Nationals is all about friendship and even sometimes relationships.
yes, I agree.
Now, after a good performance and the match is over, what's the one thing you like to do?
I personally, the first thing I do is I go congratulate the other person, and then I just want to talk to them. How are you? What's going on? You're a great set of darts. How'd you get here?
Get to know
Yeah.
people. That's great. Um, but if your match doesn't go well, say you're playing a round robin game and we don't always win, of course,
Yeah.
how do you get yourself back focused for that next match right away?
I normally just kind of give myself a little pep talk. One match is not your entire gameplay. Like yes, it's one part of it, but it doesn't represent how you are overall. The next game you could kill it and the last game won't matter too much. So you kind of just have to kind of shove it aside and say, hey, next game, I'm going to kill this one. It's going to be good. Like, just revamp your mindset to the next one.
Just stay positive and forget what happened in the past.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Optimistic. Yeah.
So let's look at some of your results as a youth player. So thank goodness for our website at Darts Ontario.
Yes.
We can look at some of the history, and it might seem a long time ago for you. So first, we'll mention the zone shoots. So in 2011, you finished joint third. In 2012, you finished first. 2014, you finished second.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about provincials. In 2012, you had a huge success at provincials with making it to the finals and facing Caitlin Saunders, and also making Team Ontario for your first time. Take us back to that provincials and right up to the finals where Caitlin actually took the title.
Yes. I was complete nerves that year. As soon as I made stage, it was just surreal for me. I didn't know what was going on, and I was just cloud nine at that point. So the match was amazing. It was very relaxed at the same time, but it was also nice and competitive with Caitlin. She is an amazing shot, and she stayed an amazing shot the entire time I knew her. So that was really good.
You guys have maybe known each other a little bit longer because you played in the same zone as well.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
She's
at provincials in 2013, you finished top 8. See, we always got to learn how to win, and we got to learn how to lose.
yes,
Tell us
yeah.
how you overcame that defeat after being on Team Ontario the year before and not making it the next year.
It happens. Sometimes you're on, sometimes you're off. It's all over the place. You can't really. I don't know. That's a hard one to answer. You got to kind of take the loss and take it as a learning experience, if anything. Just to use it as something that you can build off of for next year.
The reason I ask that question, because it happens to so many and most of us that we make the team, and then next thing you know, it's like, well, I'm not going back. So it's sad.
Every year there's such an amazing entrance of new players too that just have an amazing talent out of nowhere. So the competition changes from year to year. So, the most you can do is stay on top of it and try your hardest. You never know how it's going to play out.
Well, those people that see you playing on stage, guess what? They're after you the next year.
Yes, absolutely. You got a little target on your head.
So in 2014 at Provincials is where I first saw you, as you won your quarterfinals against Margaret Lance of Oshawa. Then in the semis, you had to face Latrissa Skrzniak to make Team Ontario again. That was a huge match. And then winning the title over Caitlin Howie from Napanee. Take us back to the final day of Provincials and winning it all.
Oh, it was amazing. It was something I had wanted for a long time. And my nationals nickname was Squirrel, second place Squirrel, because that year I ended up taking second place at everything Nationals had to offer. So to finally win that first place there's nothing that compared to that one.
That was a great match. I remember watching that. So,
Yeah.
so let's look down. 2015 was your final year as a youth, and
Yeah.
at Provincials, you went back to being on Team Ontario with dropping the finals to La Tressa. Take us back to the knockout round matches, knowing this is your final year.
Everything. I was just kind of trying to internalize everything, make memories because it was my final year, It's after that kind of everything changes into the adult world. So I was just kind of trying to make the most of it.
Well, let's talk about nationals. So your first nationals was in 2012 in Thunder Bay, and Caitlin Saunders and you finished second in Canada in junior female doubles. And in singles, Caitlin took the championship, beating you in the finals. And then also finishing second in mixed doubles. You finished second, and you finished second in the bursary shoot.
I did.
Talk to the nationals and your experience, as they call you, the Squirrel, and finishing second all the time.
It was still so amazing to be able to have even made second place. But I was really grinding for that first place. So, I mean, but that first nationals, it's an experience into itself. Like it is so incredible to get so close with your teammates and have such a great time in a new place. Like it's something unlike anything else.
And Thunder Bay, did you get to travel much up in Thunder Bay?
We went around to different sites and stuff like that were around. Yeah, Marjorie really made it such an incredible experience. She tried to put in so many destinations and little experiences in there that we could all grow on and bond together. So
it's all about team building for sure.
Yeah.
So next nationals, 2014, you went to Dartmouth, Nova Scotia for nationals, and in senior female doubles and mixed doubles, you finished joint third.
Yeah.
How was this nationals different from the first one for you?
It was a whole new place. It felt like all new people. There weren't a lot of people that I recognized from the first year, so a lot of new talent came in. Nova Scotia is a gorgeous place, by the way. I really love that. Yeah, it was just different. I think that I was a little bit more laid back because of the last time I went to nationals. So yeah, it was different.
Well, the next nationals and your last nationals, we always like to travel, but sometimes we got to do it at home. And 2015 was in St. Catharines. La Tressa and you finished second in Canada. And in singles, you and La Tressa were each one match short of making it to the finals, as you both finished top four. You also finished second in the bursary shoot that year. Take us back to your last nationals and knowing your youth days are gone.
I know. It was heavy. I think that no matter what you did, you always had that little voice back there saying, "This is your last time. This is it," So I think I just focused hard on making it a memory and making it a good one at that. I was really happy when Ontario got to host it that year for my last year. I think that made it much more memorable and awesome that I got to share that kind of thing with my province too. So it was one for the books.
Well, that's what it's all about to get to nationals. And do you still keep in touch with some of those people you met at nationals?
I do. If it's not the team, it's also people around me. Alicia Looker, Sammy from Quebec. I talk to a lot of them, get little checkups every now and then.
That's great. So tell us about any other success and memories in youth darts besides what we've talked about.
Oh my. There's been a lot. I've met so many different people, and I've traveled to a lot of places. I played in Toronto, I played in Aurelia, all over the place. And even now I'm still meeting new people in the adult league, and it's such a great community into itself. And almost every experience that you get playing darts, you grow your family a little bit more. And yeah, everything's so unique and different that it's just everything is a memory at that point. It's such a good time.
Well, now that that part of your life was over, let's talk about the adult program. Tell us about the transition going from youth to adults. And did you play the adult zones or provincials at all?
I didn't. I was playing in the adult league. I was a spare at the time on my dad's team. And that was good. I liked it. The competition is still very much there, but everyone is more having a good time. So it's nice. It's a good transition. I actually really enjoyed it.
That's great to hear because you hear a lot of different stories, and it's different, but you got to make the best of it, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, how did you become so good at calculating in your head when you're on the line and you have to know what to shoot for, and to know what to leave yourself? What advice can you give to help the youth to be able to calculate like that?
Oh, practice, 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 and study your finish cards. My stepdad and also Tim Ben, who was helping us out at the time, they drilled us with those cards that told you all your finishes. And at that point, it just becomes memory. And then with the math too, is like as long as you go on and you keep practicing chalking, it gets so much easier for you.
Yeah, you really have to chalk. And I know some of the youth, when they're younger, they're kind of scared to chalk to make mistakes. But you know what? We all make mistakes chalking.
Hey, I used a calculator for the first little while. I'm not ashamed.
Nothing wrong with that at all. So, who are some of your biggest supporters as you competed in the youth program?
Absolutely, it was my family, my brother, Kiefer and Caleb, as well as my stepdad, stepmom. They were all so amazing. They followed me everywhere I went. Um, and also definitely the Team Ontario executives, Marjorie, she was an amazing help, and Paul and Alan. They were every year, even when I didn't make nationals, they were still there supporting me and, making sure I got the best out of everything. So they were incredible. And also, even just the Team Ontario, the kids that you were playing darts with on the team are all amazing. They don't, you know, I don't want to say they don't care, but they still are your friend after that. It lasts. So when you're having a bad game, they're there to support you. Even if they're across the room, they'll come and get you and say, hey, this is what happened. So everyone is your support. It's amazing.
That's great to hear. And Marjorie and Paul were an absolute great team, and working with the youth and bringing them to nationals.
Yeah.
So what other sports did you play as a youth?
Darts was it. Darts was
Yeah.
it for me. I was not very athletic. I did some track and field here and there, but I mean, other than that, I am not an athletic person.
It was about darts. So
Yes.
what about today? What other hobbies do you have besides darts or any other sports?
I have photography, carpentry, writing, the usual.
That's good. It keeps you busy. So
Yeah.
have you been playing any online darts? And if so, what experience have you had?
I haven't played the online darts. I've watched some games, but I haven't played myself.
No, it seems like with COVID right now, that's just the way things are going now. So
I know. But
yeah.
I mean, it's still keeping it going. I love that they're still doing something to help the darts community stay involved.
Now, we always love playing everybody and as many people as possible, but as a youth, is there a favorite person you just love playing against? And if there's one player in the world you'd love to play, who would that be?
Ooh, okay. First person that I always competed against, Latressa. We we fought hard against each other all the time. Um, we would kind of always receive the matchups together. So we got pretty competitive, but I loved it. She's such an amazing shot, an amazing personality on her too. So that was a lot of fun. Um, if I could play anyone in the world,
Mhm.
ooh, I think Phil Taylor would be mine. I think that's the one.
He's an absolute legend in darts, that's for sure.
Yes,
So, uh,
yeah,
Latressa was on one of our earlier episodes, and definitely really nice talking to her. And sure miss her in the youth program, but she's doing really well in the adults.
she is. Yes, it's awesome. I keep up on her. She's doing great.
Yeah. So, what league or leagues are you currently playing in, or would be playing if there was no COVID?
Kitchener would be mine right now. Um, I'm kind of on the border of both Kitchener, Waterloo, so I can sneak into either or, but I think Kitchener would be mine.
So you moved from Barrie to Kitchener, did you?
I did, yes.
Yeah, good. So one more question as we wrap this up. What other advice can you give the youth to help follow your footsteps and your success?
I just gotta say, Rome was not built in one day. You keep on working on it, and you're gonna be such an amazing player matching with the rest of us. Everyone is gonna be so excited to see you there, and just keep playing, keep going. It's so much fun, and it gets so awesome as you go along.
That's great. Well, I really appreciate this, Emma, coming on and doing an episode, and so we can help inspire the youth of today to keep this darts going for the youth program. And I always said I wanted to keep Marjorie's dream alive and keep this program going. So thank you, and you have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
All right. That was great talking to Emma. So much great history and talking about nationals 3 times going there and her history and starting out with darts in Barrie. Make sure you go to our website at www.dartsontario.ca to find out more information about our organization. Go to our Facebook page and hit like so you get all the updates. Are you a current or former youth player in the Darts Ontario program? Would you like to be on one of our episodes? Please email me at youth@dartsontario.com. This is Shawn Irwin, your Darts Ontario Youth Director, and make sure you check out our next interview on episode 26 of Darts Ontario Let's Talk Darts. We'll be talking to a former youth player, adult player, and now running a youth league. Thank you for watching and see you next time.